That being said, Snapback fam, you are listening to the biggest Tennessee Titans fan in the United States of America today.
Here we go, everyone. Listen up, tune in. It's what you're here for. Ravens Titans, Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's start with my piece of content.
Yeah, so I have no idea what this is.
Okay, so the piece of content is, let me pull up my phone. I have created, or am I in the midst
sure
of
you did.
in the midst of creating a why Lamar Jackson won his first playoff game bingo board. And Abe, I'm saving this for you because I know you will be excellent at helping me fill in the spaces.
Sure.
25 spaces. If and when the Ravens win, I'm obviously going to post it. But
free space. Free
space is the baby goat. That's the middle. And then what I'm going to do is when we win, I'm going to take all the replies on Snap and screenshot them and fill them in. So here's what I have so far. So I've done a lot of the work, but you'll be able to fill in.
This is why the Lamar Jackson is going to win?
No. This is for after he wins, why he won that game.
Perfect.
Right? Because we've agreed. There's no way.
You want me to rattle some off the top of my head?
I'm going to give you the list, then we'll fill it in.
Okay.
Titans had COVID. He only ran.
Yep.
They were favorites.
Yep.
They'll lose next round anyways.
Yep.
Josh Allen and Mahomes still better.
Yep.
How much fun are you having right now? Defense held Henry under 100 yards.
See, that's not fair.
Whatever it is. Like however
the defense won the game.
Yeah. So Titans defense is awful.
Got it.
No fans for home field advantage.
Obviously.
Titans missed field goals.
Of course, Gostkowski.
Dobbins and Gus ran for 200 yards. Lamar still only threw for less than 200 yards. Defense got Lamar turnovers. Still can't throw outside the numbers. Wasn't a primetime game. Strategy won't work against good defenses. Deshaun and Kyler would do the same with that team. Still can't come from behind and will never win a Super Bowl. So I need about 8 more.
I mean, I don't even need to say anything else about this game at that point. You know what I mean?
Because there's no way you can lose.
Right. I don't need to say anything else about that game. Off the top of my head, I haven't looked into the Nashville weather. Are you going to the game?
TBD. That's a good one. Weather. Okay.
Weather.
So what weather angle are you playing here?
If it's a little bit on the cooler side, the weather played to Baltimore's strength because Baltimore weather versus if the weather is more likely Baltimore.
Okay, I got that written down.
Did Vrabel do a pregame workout on the sidelines with the coach? Squats, push-ups.
Do pregame workout.
Right.
Okay.
Injuries, just got to throw that one in there. If the special teams player gets hurt for the Titans, we can throw that one in.
Mm-hmm.
When are the Ravens traveling to Nashville? Do you know?
I would assume Friday night. That would be
right. So the Titans have been in Nashville for a while now, so they're probably hungover right now, let alone on Sunday.
Players are hungover.
Players are hungover. Oh, you forgot he's playing against Ryan Tannehill.
It's only the Titans, right?
It's only the Titans. Yeah.
Which also obviously fits into Jalen Mahomes still better. Titans defense is off.
Well, listen, man, all credit to you. You just did a great job of breaking down my analysis for this game. You know,
I gave you 18 angles.
Right. And I really came in here only with about 7 to 8. I think we all know that you're kind of the X's and O's guys when it comes to this game. And me, I talk about what matters. Yeah. I think you just outlined that entire thing. Wait, Bingola. You gonna call it Lamar?
Oh, that would be cool.
Or
Lamar. Yeah.
B. Oh, you know what you could do?
Choke.
CHOKE.
X's and O's. Let's talk them. Here we go. Oh, first let's get our bet in. Or let's have a discussion about some form of a bet. I think you're copping out of a bet because you do believe. First
off, you on Twitter this morning went way too far.
Did I?
Yes. You tried to loop me into something that I wanted no part of. You tweeted at another podcast, shout out the Locker Room, that if the Ravens lost, we would have to shut down our feed.
That's correct.
And that is not something I agreed to. You took me from the Titans side and you drugged my drink, and then dragged me to the Ravens side, and then sent out that tweet. That is not what we will be doing.
So,
but
you're not going to agree, let's figure out. I'm obviously going to make the 0.0% guarantee that we knew, and it's only going to continue because the Ravens injury report looks good. But let's figure it out. One thing that I was thinking that is probably where we'll land. I think if he loses, I wouldn't go as far as to refer to him as the baby choke. He would actually have to throw for 86 yards. Like, it would be circumstantial. Like, if he throws for 300 and 4 touchdowns, no picks, and they lose, you can't give him the baby choke. He didn't really choke. But
we're box score watching this game. I got it. Got it.
If he goes 0-3, 3 games as a favorite, it might be fair to show.
I think no. If the Ravens lose this game, I don't care what Lamar's numbers look like. I think you have to get a purple 8 jersey, but the name tag says Antetokounmpo. And that is your new, and every Sunday until Lamar wins a playoff game, you must wear the Antetokounmpo Ravens jerseys, because as we've talked about before,
I love Giannis, so that one's not even that bad.
The similarities between Giannis and Lamar in the playoffs are uncanny, and I am excited for it to further into the next chapter on Sunday at 1 o'clock.
You have a great opportunity for that, just because, once again, Giannis isn't choking in the first round. Like, that's
it's just his style of play prohibiting him from winning.
We still have to get over that hurdle with Lamar. Like, once he gets the first, as we've discussed, the narrative will become, it doesn't matter, it's on the bingo board, his play style can't win a Super Bowl, right? Like, so we're not there yet. So we're still there. So I think if you're 0-3 in the playoffs, it's tough to be the baby goat. I did lay out Peyton Manning. He did start 0-3 through 1 touchdown through 3 playoff games. So for those reasons, I do think that, you could argue that we might have to shed the nickname, or do we transfer it if Mahomes wins the Super Bowl? Again, could he become the baby goat before he eventually becomes the goat? Those are just ideas.
Patrick Mahomes you can toss the word baby out of there. My man's
not the goat yet. It's disrespectful.
He's not the goat yet. He's not the goat yet. Listen, man, I think, I know you're going to say you're playing the LeBron angle, right? I'm going to say the Ravens are going to win, but I'm actually rooting for the Titans. And you know me. That's what I do. It's just a perfect situation. The Ravens are favored in this game by 3.5 points. I am a sucker dating back to the Philadelphia Eagles run in 2017 for a home underdog in the playoffs. What's the capacity in Nashville?
I think it's going to be around 10K.
Honky tonk down, baby. Honky tonk. So obviously I'm going to pick the Titans here, but I look at the game last year. I'm going to box score watch for here. Lamar Jackson. No.
I don't even feel like giving you any.
I know you've analyzed the film from last year. You've started with how you can argue that the Ravens are going to lose this game, and then you've went backwards and found countering points. I know anything I say you're going to counter with, and you've done way more research on this game than I have. I've slept this week, thankfully. You, on the other hand, have not. Let's just look at the box score. The Ravens lost against the Titans. No. Stop.
Okay,
Stop.
right.
The Ravens lost. And I think we all remember it wasn't really close. They had a chance to battle back in the second half, and the Titans just pulled away. Lamar Jackson accounted for 500 plus yards of total offense, and they still lost.
Oh, see, that's okay. Go.
Derrick Henry, how many yards did he have? 130, 150? That's another day in the office for him. If he goes out of his mind, he's going to have 220 against you guys. 500 yards of total offense and couldn't beat this Titans team. Listen, I know their defense was better last year than it is this year. I know their defense is probably the worst out of all the remaining teams in the playoffs this year. But that's a hard pill to swallow. You go for 500 yards by your quarterback alone, and you can't win the game. Now bury me 6 feet under, Jack.
When your thoughts lead into my main arguments.
Right, because because you've gone down every thought that a Titans fan could have about this game.
X's and O's of Ravens Titans. Here's the situation. Everyone knows we've played them 2 games. The playoff game last year, the game this year.
I don't count the game this year. There was COVID going on,
Football, here's the deal with football. And why, like when people say there's no way that team wins, I'm one of those people, obviously with my 0.0s, but it's a round ball that bounces in unpredictable ways.
You love this point.
Exactly. So the sequence of consequences that had to occur in last year's playoff game to lose the game, like they always say, you need the perfect storm. That's what they got. I look at it
as in the Titans.
That's correct. You were 8 for 8 on 4th and 1s in 2019, 0 for 2 in the game. Lamar throws a pass to Mark Andrews. 9 times out of 10, he completes that throw. The 10th time,
not in big games. We all know big games, Andrews.
Exactly. The 10th time, it tips his fingers and falls incomplete. On that night, it falls into a Titans safety's hands. You have, just a million different examples. They pull out the jump pass. They got the perfect storm in that game. And if you look at the box scores from those 2 games, what does it tell? It tells that the Ravens are the better team. They move the ball with better success, and things just didn't fall their way. And because of that, even though these are independent sequences of events, one game is very different than the next, the statistical probabilities that those things would continue to happen. You need 8 coin flips in a row. That's what won them the playoff game. You need a few less maybe this year in Baltimore.
Put it in a way that the people can understand. The Ravens have to hit 2 people's parlays in the same game.
Right, exactly. So the Ravens were 12-point favorites last year against.
That is embarrassing. I didn't even know it was that much.
Exactly.
12 points.
This year they lost at home as 7-point favorites. So once again, you understand the odds here. What is Vegas telling us? Well, they're not going to open the line Ravens -6. They would take too much action, but they want to. The hard opener was 3 plus the hook. And honestly, there is no difference. Home field does not get the same swing that it might have in years past. And I just think that's what everyone's saying is the Ravens are the better team. Are there ways? Could Lamar throw a bad turnover? Could there be a kick return? Could there be a million different sequences that flip the game? Absolutely. But you play this game 10 times. I believe the Ravens will win it 7.5 times. You can't obviously win a half game, but let me give you the X's and O's. Offensively.
Before you go, you said you think the Ravens would probably win 7 out of 10 against the Titans. Is that, and be honest, is that disrespect to the Titans, or is that saying the Ravens are a lot better than people think they are?
It's not disrespect to either. I don't think it's disrespect.
I think we need to understand, listen, you and I are queen calling the Titans cuties.
Yeah.
It's come back to bite us in the ass numerous times. The Titans are averaging close to 35 points a game.
Yeah, they're a great offense. Their defense is somehow worse than their offense, which is crazy. I was going through the Titans message boards. This is a fun fact.
You are such a loser.
No, this is actually a good tip for if you're interested in a matchup, go to the opposing team's boards. You'll get really good information on what not only they think the game plan is, but what things I wasn't thinking of. I didn't know their tackle was out. I didn't know I didn't know Corey Davis had a drops problem. I didn't know. You actually learn a decent bit. So most of it was, I would say, pretty realistic. Some fans
you go at the message board way more mature way.
Yeah, exactly.
If I was playing the Titans in the playoff game and someone was telling me why Derrick Henry's going to run all over, I would send about 9 LOLs and write he's ass.
Right, exactly. So I went in, I didn't write anything, but the funniest part was
staring from afar, you sneaky bastard.
Right. The funniest part was there was one theory, and I call it a theory because there were multiple replies to it, that Mike Vrabel has been intentionally playing bad defense this season to save the scheme.
That is just
right up your alley, of course.
Right up my conspiracy theory alley. Throw that on the bingo board.
And so for that reason, I use that as proof as to the state of that defense. When your diehard fans who are thinking smart outside of that are actually praying that that he tanked the defense so that they could play better defense in the playoffs.
You are a great fan.
You are a great fan, but your team has a shitty defense. So I think from an X's and O's standpoint, it could be a shootout. The one thing I'll note, I don't think you can really stop the Ravens. People say the Ravens can't throw. They obviously, their run game is what's strongest, but their explosiveness actually also comes from the run game. People don't think of running as big plays. The Ravens are super explosive, which leads to passing explosiveness as well. The secondary is the weakest part. They have a decent front seven, but like I was showing in the film, we're spreading them out this year. Last year, they just loaded the box. The Chargers are the same thing as rookie year. Defensively, the one note is the only thing I'll note is that the last game they played, Henry rushed for 50 yards before the fourth quarter in overtime. Now, does he wear down people? That's actually debated. It is a debate whether or not that's a real thing. But let's just give him the benefit of the doubt. They did hold him to 50. And
pretty sure there's a stat out there. Like if you just took Derrick Henry's yards in the second half, he's a top 5 rusher or something.
But it's because they play the Jags, the Texans run D. It actually has a lot to
do
do
you
with
mean
their
like
division.
the entire end of the Ravens schedule this year?
Yeah, exactly. Ravens were missing their 2 best run stoppers, Calais Campbell,
cool.
Brandon Williams, for their last game. That's really important. I just think on paper, like I said, you got to play the game, but there's a 0.00000% chance that the Baltimore Ravens lose to the Tennessee Titans. If they do, let me know what you want me to do.
We all know I've been a huge fan of the Tannehill contract, the Henry contract. From day one, I said it was a great deal. And on Sunday, it shows once again. We will finally, you know what? I'm not going to say it yet, but if the Ravens lose on Sunday to the Titans are officially your daddies. So they're officially your daddies.
Yeah, they would be the daddies.
Lamar's daddies.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's important because most of the people who are Lamar haters and Ravens haters, it's because of me posting obnoxiously about Lamar.
Correct.
Like you. Most people don't actually know the Ravens and Titans have a very historic rivalry. We used to be in the same division.
Baltimore, whatever, Colts, whatever it was. I don't know.
No, it was Baltimore Ravens versus
Houston or
Tennessee Titans. But they just played in the same division. It was a very fierce rivalry.
Yeah, so I mean, you can't talk about what happened 15 years ago. That's irrelevant to today. But if the Titans beat the Ravens, the Titans are officially Lamar Jackson's daddy. Yeah. And I know there's somebody. Mahomes is their stepdad. I mean, no, Mahomes is just their president. But there is a SnapBack fan member listening to this podcast, probably the same one who photoshopped a dolphin sucking my nipple, what I called them babies.
Yeah.
Please do the same
have that stuff.
With Lamar sucking Derrick Henry's nipple. That is my request for this game. So final score prediction.
Yeah.
33-27 Titans. But since I think the Ravens are going to win, I get 2 score predictions. I'm going to go 33-27 Titans. I'm also going to go 33-27 Ravens.
All right. I'm going to go 38-30. I think the Ravens are going to, like I said.
So we both in the over.
No one has stopped us.
What's the over-under in this game?
And I think they'll get some late scores. The over-under is 55. Which feels like a lot.
But I can easily see 30-25.
I don't see whatever the Ravens team total is. You'll catch me on that.